I wanted to talk about homelessness today. Last year, according to USISH.gov, 21,577 people were homeless. That was the homeless population in this state. Veterans experiencing homelessness is 1,585 people. People experiencing chronic homelessness was 4,884. And that's it. That's what I want to talk about today. Hopefully, this speech changes your mind on the perspective of homeless people if you see them on the street. And hopefully, this answers some questions on if somebody's homeless, how would they feel if somebody walked up to them and offered them things. I was homeless last year for a little over a year. And so I was part of that population. Before I went to college, I was sleeping literally in a duffel bag outside, or duffel bag, what am I saying? A sleeping bag outside with bags. I got trespassed a couple of times. It was very quiet and kept to myself. It's the principle of it. I was on somebody else's property. I respect that. A lot of people would walk up to me in Richland. I found out that in Richland, it's easier to find a place to plug in your phone. It's easier to find a public bathroom where you don't buy anything. You just walk in and use a bathroom and walk out. You're constantly thinking about using the bathroom when you're homeless. That's interesting, right? Because it's like, well, I want to go there, but there's no bathroom. So where else am I going to go? And you're constantly planning for that. You're planning ahead in that way. You can't store anything really in your bags, and that's one thing a point I want to make. If you want to offer somebody something, offer them a gift card for McDonald's, something like that. It's the point I want to make is think light. They have to drag it around with them unless they're immediately hungry and they're immediately going to eat the food you're giving them. That's a good point. That's a good thing. I mean, if you see somebody every single day and maybe once a week you are like, do you want breakfast? Fine. But you have to think, they're carrying this around. If you give them a soup can or like 5 soup cans, that's really heavy. They might not even accept it because of that. Also think that I lived on Chef Boyardee because you just had it, you could eat it out of a can, and it was $1, right? So if you got top ramen, you can't cook that. Like you can maybe put some water on it, and you can eat it out of the box. I mean, I see people do that, but you know my point. I had a Brita water bottle where you could put tap water in it and it would filter. But you would have to constantly buy, well, once a month you'd buy a filter for it. So that's an ongoing expense. So that's something to think about. Also, this time of year, mosquito repellent is useful. If you're sleeping outside, there's mosquitoes outside. So that's something to think about. Also, shaving powder, any kind of gold bond powder. I got the aerosol can, but that's like the pricey stuff. Just like baby powder, because you're sweating and you want something to soak up that sweat. That kind of slows down your need to have to go and take a shower. Um, any kind of deodorant, toothpaste. But churches provide that. I'm trying to think of things that a church wouldn't provide because they don't provide. It's like if they provide 95% of this stuff, well, you still have problems that 5% of things need to be solved with. Baby wipes are useful if you can't take a shower right away. Um, and again, deodorant, anything so you're not just smelling all the time. Again, soap, like to do your laundry, you have to carry that around with you. I would get like the dollar box um, in the box. You can't um, use the library right now, which is really unfortunate. But I lived at the library. You could use the bathroom for free. You could charge your phone. You could hang out. They would allow you to loiter, and you can't do it at the grocery store. Uh, so just treat them like everybody else. And that sounds really cliche, but that's really my point. Don't ask a bunch of questions about their situation. Just say hi and treat them like everybody else. And then, if you want to give them something, it's just don't just ask a bunch of questions and then walk away. I hate it when people did that because they like were just reminding me of my situation for their sake, and it was still selfish of them to do that, and it was kind of rude. So I think if you got anything out of this speech, is to not just walk up to people and ask a bunch of questions about their own personal business and ask why they're not at the mission. Um, that's really, if anybody got anything out of this speech, it would be that, and I would be thrilled if anybody got that out of this speech. Um, Thank you for watching.